Does spiritual bypassing help us with manifesting? That's exactly what we're talking about today on the Manifesting Guide. But before we do that, if you're tired of pushing and forcing yourself to manifest, to get things done, get your Manifest Without Force or Frustration gift at highertrueself.com/freebies. It's completely free. And if you want notifications when I release a new episode, go to highertrueself.com/podcast. So this term, spiritual bypass, I'd like to read a quick definition because I was like, I've heard that term bandied around, but what does it really mean? Apparently, it became popular in the 1980s by the late John Welwood. He was a Buddhist teacher and psychotherapist who observed the phenomena in his own spiritual community. So the way that it's described here is spiritual bypassing is defined as using one's spirituality to avoid facing unresolved issues, either on a personal, interpersonal, or systemic level. Now, I'm going to be talking about something that's, I think, even more important. So this is episode 54, Does Spiritual Bypassing Work in Manifesting? So here's the thing, is in the New Age community, there's a really common belief that if something happens to someone, whether it's a tragedy or it's a loss, something that is painful, that some people will say, you've created it by your thinking. You've manifested it, that car accident. And to me, that's beyond belief cruel. I can start crying when someone is in pain and someone in their superior attitude says that they attracted it. It's not only cruel, but it's not true. There are 8 billion souls out there creating by their thoughts. Who are we to say that our thoughts created that outcome? What about the nearly 8 billion more people? People who are compassionate and sympathetic are the first to blame themselves, let alone take on the burden and the projection of these New Age gurus who try to push a statement without truly understanding what it means, let alone the trauma it does to someone who hears it. So spiritual bypassing, that's really a self-to-self thing. So, for example, say someone experiences a loss and it's a family member who they were very close to. And they say, well, I shouldn't grieve. I should be positive. I should appreciate the time I had with that person and love everything about them. I shouldn't feel sad. That's lower emotion, grief. I should just be in my spiritual Zen mode of gratitude for the time I spent with them. Nothing wrong with that. But here's the thing. We're humans. We grieve. When there's a loss, and this is my understanding of what actually happens, is that we hold within ourselves experiences from the other. We hold like a part of them, especially if it's a best friend or an intimate partner. And when that person leaves their body, they are pulling back all of that experience, that love, everything that we've held in ourselves about them. They pull it from us when they leave, which is why we feel so empty. That's what grief is. Now, this is just my perspective. Don't just take it on board. See if it works for you. Is that love, that energy is propulsion. It's like jet fuel. It helps them get to their next destination. So the more people who are loved, the more people, the depth of connection. And when they pass, they use that. They draw upon that energy to go to their next place, wherever it's a next incarnation or something else. That's a little bit more kind of metaphysical than I normally go to on the Manifesting Guide podcast, but I thought, let's just touch on that. So let's talk about when someone tries to mean girl us or mean boy us, and they try to put us in our place, that we shouldn't be crying, we shouldn't be grieving, we shouldn't be upset about a loss. That is cruel. And what is there a term when a doctor expresses malpractice and they're sued? I think anybody who does that to somebody else is experiencing they should experience spiritual malpractice, and they shouldn't be in a position to mentor or guide anyone. So here's what happens, that this idea of bypassing our emotions and how it affects us manifesting wise. All our experiences, all our feelings, all our memories, all our past relationship partners, our past health issues or worries about health issues, our financial challenges, everything is stored in our unconscious mind. And if we think about our body as the storehouse of the unconscious mind, everything's stored there. Whether we're conscious of it or not, it doesn't go away. It's still there. So it stays in our body, our unconscious mind, and all of humanity's experiences we can tap into as well, because that's in the collective unconscious. So we can't just dismiss our life events. I mean, who would we be if we did that? I think that's a little bit inhumane. That makes us human. Our feelings make us human. So what do we do if we've experienced a challenge and someone's mean girling us or mean boying us? That's not quite, doesn't work as well. Well, we tell them to stop and say, I am feeling this, and I know that if I don't allow my feelings and I don't ride the waves, then I'm doing a spiritual bypass. And I know that's going to impact my ability to function, let alone manifest what I want in the future. So let me be, let me feel, let me grieve, let me be, and do not ever tell me I created this car accident. You do that again, I'm not talking to you. You can be playful like that, right? So let's tap into this, because this is important. There is a term that I've coined called negative manifesting. What does that mean? Does that mean I attracted the car accident? Does that mean, I attracted the relationship ending? No. Negative manifesting is when we have an intention, a goal, an objective, something we're working towards. But we have doubts, we have concerns, we don't believe it's possible for us. Well, that, my friends, is a form of worry. And when we use worry in that negative way, we actually cancel out our objective. We are negatively manifesting the thing we're worrying about, the thing we don't want to happen. So what do? If we have those doubts, those worries, those fears, those concerns, we treat them as resistance, we treat them as blockers. It's blocking energy. And that's the power of this work, is clearing the resistance, making way for something that we want to come into our life, because we can negatively manifest. And that usually turns up in canceling our objective. So let's talk about something maybe like real world. So maybe we're in a job and the job's going okay. It's not our ideal job, but it pays well. And we see that there's a possible promotion. Oh, goody. It's, 10% increase in salary. And I get to supervise a few people. So we have that thought, oh, I'd like that. But then the very next thought is, well, I'm not qualified. I've only been here 2 years. That other guy over here has been here 5 years, and he's got a better degree than me. So what does that do? Negative manifesting. You've just canceled what you want. So can we impact our results by our negative thoughts? Absolutely. Do we attract a car accident? No. 8 billion souls out there. So please don't ever take that on board, because what you're doing then is you're crushing your soul, your spirit. You are mean girling and mean boying yourself. And that, my friends, is a terrible way to live. Terrible. And over time, it impacts your ability to create what you want, because you're not either believing in your own manifesting powers or you don't even try anymore. So let's stop this nonsense about that we've created whatever bad stuff happens to us. Yes, we can cancel our intentions all the time. We do it every day. That's why I love to teach the work that I do in the Highest Potential program, because we catch it. Because if we can catch that thought, if we can catch that body feeling, that sensation, before it starts to influence us negatively, and we treat it as resistance, we treat it as a blocker, and we remove it, well, smooth sailing to our objective, because that negative manifesting no longer has our attention, no longer has control over us. All right, so if you've enjoyed the episode, please follow me at facebook.com/higher true self. And if you're tired of pushing and forcing yourself to get things done, get your manifesting kit so you can manifest without force or frustration at highertrueself.com/freebie. It's completely free. Remember, self-confirmation frees you to succeed on your terms. It frees you to be yourself. Thanks for listening. This is Ariana Rollins, and I can't wait to see you thrive and manifest from thought alone. So much love.